What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my vinyl reviews. Just copped a few vinyls this past couple of days and things of that nature. Excuse me. Let's get started. First vinyl I'm gonna show you guys today is the Ohio Players compilation album, Climax, released in 1974 on Westbound. I already talked about the Honey album, which came out in 1975. Their best album, in my opinion. Yeah, this album is kind of like an unreleased album, but like yeah, it's basically like an unreleased album, And they did like two cover songs of Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On" and the Creedence Clearwater Revival "Primary," which was most famously by Ike and Tina Turner. And I think this album came out with like one single, which I believe is "Sleep Talk." So yeah, Ohio Players, Westbound. I mean, Climax. Check. This is actually a dope album, collector's item right here. If you're an Ohio Players fan, you most likely should have this album. I believe this album's actually out of print. I believe. I don't really know. It's very hard to come by, so must have in your collection. Then we got Phyllis Hyman with "You Know How to Love Me," released in 1979 on what's it? What's the label? Excuse me. What's Arista, yeah. Phyllis Hyman, definitely in my opinion one of the best female soul singers of all time. A perfect example of someone gone too soon. This is actually the first Phyllis Hyman album I have in my collection. I need to get more of this stuff. This album came out with two singles, "Under Your Spell" and "You Know How to Love Me." I have not heard this album, but I'm definitely going to hear this album, and I'm definitely going to do a review on this. Um, Very dope singer, very dope singer in my opinion. She died. Yeah, she died back in '95. But I think people do forget about her. Like one of the best singers of all time, in my opinion. Phyllis Hyman. Um, you know how to love me, 1979. Next album, Earth, Wind and Fire, Raised, released in 1981 on CBS Records, I believe. ARC under Columbia. Yeah, I do have That's the Way of the World, classic album. In my opinion, that album and All in All are my favorite albums from them. This album, it came out like when people thought they were kind of going through like a drought because the previous album, Faces, that album had like a lot of mixed reviews from a lot of fans, and so they came out with this album, and this album was just phenomenal in my opinion. They really got into like more of that '80s sound. Singles I was known for are "Let's Go." Everyone knows that song. Um, "I Wanna Be with You," classic song. That song actually won them a Grammy back in 1982, and I've had enough. Um, Very dope album art, by the way. Earth, Wind& Fire always doing like the African-inspired album artwork. Very dope album. Um, Rest in peace, Maurice White. Definitely your legacy will live on. Now we have Roy Ayers with "No Stranger to Love," released in 1979 on Powerdale Records. Roy Ayers, you guys should know who he is. He's one of the famous jazz musicians of all time. Erica Badu calls him like the father of neo soul. Um, this album came at a time when a lot of jazz artists were combining R&B and disco to their music, and yeah, it's because like a lot of jazz, like in the late '70s, was as people say polished. Because like people like George Benson, although I love George Benson, he was getting like a lot of flack because like when he came out with Breezing back in 1976, a lot of people talk shit about the album, saying that it's not really a jazz album, it's way too polished. But I'm gonna save my thoughts on the album the day I review it. I might start a jazz review thing. Who knows? Yeah, Roy Ayers, No Stranger to Love. I've heard a little bit of the album. I picked it up because I was originally looking for Everybody Loves the Sunshine. I've seen it in the store many times, but I came across this one and I looked up this album. This album had like the cover of What You Want to Do for Love by Bobby Caldwell, and singles I was known for are, I believe, the single No Strength to Love. I think that was a single, and Don't Let Our Love Slip Away. Yeah, if you guys are a fan of Roy Ayers, you guys should know what you might get into when listening to his music. Like smooth instrumentation, um, very jazzy. Although around this time, it has like a more R&B-ish vibe with it, but you'll know what I'm talking about once you listen to this album. Funkadelic, Uncle Jam Wants You, released in 1979 on Warner Brothers. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah. This album basically was one of the most militant albums ever. I think the only single this album came out with was Not Just Knee Deep, which, in my opinion, one of the best songs ever. I mean, sung from everybody from De La Soul to Ice Cube. So yeah, very dope album. This is probably like the last great album that they came out with. Well, I'm gonna get into that later on. Later on, so Funkadelic Uncle Jam Wants You, very dope album. Well, 1 year prior, they came out with this masterpiece, One Nation Under Groove, released in 1978 on Warner Brothers. What's cool about this copy, it comes with like a bonus disc where it has like some unreleased, I mean not unreleased, like previous songs on it. Yeah, bonus 45. Very dope, by the way. No, back to this album. Singles album is known for are One Nation Under a Groove and Charlie Funk Getting Ready to Roll. Yeah. This album was just I believe this album and Nagged Brain, in my opinion, are their best works. This album is just funky and soulful, and but at the same time, it still has that like funkadelic sound to it. Very good album. I need to do a review on this. I was originally looking for this album, but then I came across Uncle Jim Wants You, so I just picked that up. But so I came back, and I was trying to try my luck again, and I literally just got this album. Very, very dope album. Yeah, very dope album, by the way. It's a classic funk album. A lot of people sample shit from this, so. Alright. Then we have Average White Man with AWB, or Average White Man, possibly like a self-titled album, released on 1974 on Atlantic Records. Average White Man, you guys should know who they are. Another iconic funk group. Basically, this album was like their breakthrough album, by the way, because this album came out with hits like Pick Up the Pieces, Nothing You Can Do. Very dope band, by the way. A lot of people set them as like one of the best funk groups of '70s. I need to get some more of their albums. Average White Band, AWB. Next album is an album I've been looking for ages, and I'm finally glad I got this album. When this album first came out, it got like a lot of mixed reviews because she went for a different direction with this album. But Queen Latifah's Nature of Persistence definitely is among her best works. Released in 1971 on Tommy Boy. I already have All Hail the Queen, which I believe, did I do a review on that album? I No, I don't think I've done a review. I think I did a review. you. I'm not too sure. But Black Rain, which in my opinion, Black Rain is like classic. Well, her best album. And I'm not gonna say that's her only classic. This album is kind of well. Let's talk about the singles. Latifah's Had It Up to Here, Fly Girl, and How Do I Love B. I kind of compare this album to MC Light's Act Like You Know because that album came out the same year as this album, and that album kind of went for like a more R&B direction. And a lot of people criticize Latifah and MC Light for going soft, but like they, but also they rebounded. Ironically, both of those MCs kind of rebounded commercially with their next albums, Black Rain and Ain't No Other, respectively. And yeah, but back to this album. This is actually a dope album. A lot of people sleep on this shit. This is a very dope album. Like yeah, dope songs like How Do I Love You, Fly Girl, Give Me Your Love, Bad as a Mother. I mean, very dope album. Like this is this was also like the year when Naughty by Nature came out with their self-titled debut, and so the production wise, this album kind of reminds me of that album, which I need to review Naughty by Nature album too, by the way. But Queen Latifah's Nature Persistent, give this album a chance because her first three studio albums are my favorites. Order on the Court, that was an okay album. I don't hate it as much as other fans do, but I was an okay album. Other than that, cop this album if you can find it, because this album is actually out of print, I believe. Next album, okay, so funny story. When I picked this album up, I was excited, but when I opened up the booklet, I was more excited. This is Ozzy Osbourne with well, the vinyl says Blizzard of Oz, but they put it under the Diary of a Madman album. I might as well just talk about both albums. Alright, so Blizzard of Oz, I'm sorry, Blizzard of Oz, of course. I was so hyped because I found this version of the album because this is actually the OG copy. And what's dope about the OG copy is because anyway, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, what was I going to say? So, because you guys know, both this album and Diary from Madman, they went through some controversy over the years because it was controversially reissued or remastered in 2002. But here's a twist: they replaced the bass and the drums on the 2002 reissue. The reason being is because Sharon Osbourne didn't want to pay. I believe I read she didn't want to pay for that, and I was kind of like, it was kind of like struck a lot of controversy because that's like a race in art and things of that nature. So yeah, basically, but luckily it's been remastered and like all the drum and bass have been reinstated and things of that nature. So yeah, so if Ozzy fan, you have nothing to worry about. But other than that, Blizzard of Oz, in my opinion, both Blizzard of Oz and Diary of Madman are my favorite albums from Ozzy. And that album came out with classics like Crazy Train, Mr. Crawley, and what's the other single off this album? Yeah, and yeah, the label is Jet Records. But like, this is a Blizzard of Oz classic. A lot of heavy metal fans rank that as like one of the best of that time. But damn. Oh yeah, first solo album without Black Sabbath. I forgot to mention. But the song "Suicide Solution" off Blizzard of Oz struck some controversy because from what I looked up, um, this dude committed suicide listening to this that song, and so the parents sued Ozzy and CBS Records. And that's kind of similar because a year after that, Judas Priest also got sued for the same thing too. When talking about subliminal messages. So yeah. Other than that, Blizzard of Oz, classic shit. I'm definitely do a review on this. Now Diary for Madman. Now, speaking of Diary for Madman, um, that album, a lot of people say that's like better than Blizzard of Oz. Um, that album is it's kind of like yin yang because Diary for Madman was like way more darker than Blizzard of Oz and shit, that things of that nature. So, single Diary for Madman was known for. Let me see. Flying High Again, Over the Mountain, and You Can't Cure Rock and Roll. And yeah, just like this album, Blizzard of Oz, this album was controversially reissued with the replacement of the drum and the bass. And yeah, so, and also this was the final album. Diary for Man was the final album that Ozzy recorded with Randy Rose because if you guys know, Randy Rose died like in a plane crash and things like that. And he was also, I think, the drummer of Quiet Riot too, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, fuck it, the guitarist, yeah. So, in my opinion, Randy Rhoads he made the Ozzy Osbourne sound. He perfected the Ozzy Osbourne sound, in my opinion. Other than that, must have both of these. I'm gonna try to be on the lookout for Diary of a Madman vinyl, or I might just get the CD version. But the 1995 CD version, if I can find it. Other than that, dope albums. This next album was an album I've been looking for years. Um, come on, really? All right. So we got Earth, Wind, and we got Earth, Wind, and Fire with that Gratitude. Oh, so go. Man, I got on the door, bro. No. I didn't notice. Oh, I heard you making videos. Yeah, that's my roommate right there. What's that? What's good? What's that? Yeah, I'm just showing them vinyl collection and stuff. That's my roommate. What's good, people? Yeah. Everybody getting live or something? No, not live yet. Oh, what's good, man? So, what is that for? YouTube, my vinyl collection videos and stuff. Work, you doing this? That shit's cool. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I can't get this shit stayed. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Gratitude, 1975. This was a very, 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 very dope album. It's a live album, but it has a few studio songs to go with it. Seeing what album's known for, it came out with what's the single? I know Can't Hide Love, that was a single, and Sing a Song. Can't Hide Love, dope, 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 dope song. Um, all my Just Ice fans should know about that song. That's all I'm gonna say. But other than that, yeah, dope album by the way. I love the live version of these songs like Reason, Africano, Yearning, Learning. Like this is released just after a month after That's the Way of the World. So yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire with Gratitude. Highly sought after too. Then we got the weather report with Mr. Gone, 1980, 1978. This is actually the first album I caught from the Weather Report. A lot of hip hop heads know about them. People have sampled their music. Um, Around this time the album came out, they didn't have a drummer or percussionist, and Alex Acuna he returned to Las Vegas to work as a studio musician. Um, they were also Shona was like working on a solo album too. So yeah, and also they had the contract problems and things of that nature. So when damn how to say it, Zawuno. So when Zawuno was working on solo work, it eventually came to this album. I've not really heard this album. I picked it up because of the album artwork, and I've heard a couple Weather Report albums, but I forgot which albums I've heard from them. Dope jazz fusion group. Must have in your collection. And the final album. Oh, y'all gonna love this. Y'all ain't ready for this. Tina Turner's Private Dancer, released in 1984. Um, yes, Capitol Records. This is her first solo album without Ike. Although she has released solo albums before this, those were still under Ike and Tina Turner belt. So this was originally like the first official album with Tina Turner. All right, now, I mean, damn legs. Okay, the album singles I was known for are "Let's Stay Together," "Help," which "Let's Stay Together" was the cover of the album song, of course. "Help," "What's Love Got to Do with It?" I mean, everyone in the world knows that song. "Better Be Good to Me," "Private Dancer," "I Can't Stand the Rain," "Show Some Respect." I mean, 1984 was a good year for music. I mean, and this one of the albums to prove it. It has like a nice mix of rock, soul, pop, new wave, all on one album. I mean, that Tina Turner, Private Dancer. A lot of people say this is like her best solo album. I might have to agree with that. So yeah, must have in your collection. That's all the time I have. Stay tuned for more stuff. Peace.